O.J. Simpson is pushing daisies. Yeah. That's the best news I've heard in a long time. If you don't know who O.J. Simpson is, if you just never heard the name but don't know who the guy is, I'll break it down for you. O.J. Simpson was an NFL Hall of Famer, amazing football player. Then he was in some rental car commercials and some comedies, little bit parts and stuff. It was funny stuff. America loved the man for his football, for the movies, his acting career that was taken off. Everybody loved the dude. Everybody did. Married a beautiful woman, had kids, living in Beverly Hills. And one night, he flipped the fuck out and tried to cut his wife's head off with a knife. And he murdered her friend. That's who O.J. Simpson was. In a nutshell. When the news came out that they found his wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, murdered in a very horrible fashion, along with her friend Ron Goldman, right outside of his apartment, condo right there. A lot of people, their first thought was, where's OJ? Not in a sense of like, where is he because we think maybe he did it, but everybody was, it was the opposite, like, is he okay? How could this happen in such a nice neighborhood? Was it just a robbery gone wrong? You know, and police said, no, it wasn't a robbery, it was a murder. So people are like, what the hell happened that night? And a lot of people thought it could have been another serial killer because it wasn't that far apart from the whole Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez murders that were going on in the Valley. So a lot of people were thinking that too, because they had that was fresh in a lot of minds. And I was at the time, I was living down in Southern California when this whole O.J. Simpson thing happened. Nobody thought that he was capable of doing that at all. At all. And the cops were being really cool with him in the beginning, but they found a lot of evidence, and OJ's not that good of an actor. So the cops said that he was a suspect, and they wanted him to turn himself in. They didn't want to go to the house and make a big scene and arrest him. They said, OJ, just come to the police station and, you know, we got to book you. OJ wasn't happy about that. So he's at his mansion, and his best friend, I forget his name, he played football with him as well. They got in the Bronco. His friend's driving it, this white Bronco. OJ's in the back with a gun, and he's threatening that he's going to kill himself, and he keeps saying, I didn't do it, I didn't do it. And he's saying he's going to blow his brains out. They get on the highway, and they're doing like 30 miles an hour. The entire LAPD is behind this Bronco. I'm working at a Blockbuster Video in that area, and the manager, we were all glued to the news when this was going on. The manager had the news from open to close up on the TVs in the store. Customers are walking by and they'll stop, they'll hear something, and what's going on? What's new? You know? And the employees. I'm grabbing cassettes, VHS tapes, rewinding them, putting them back in the boxes. I'm laminating memberships, and I hear this lady go, oh my God, they're coming this way. And I was like, no way. So I'm looking at the TV, the customers, the employees, everybody's watching the news. And sure as shit, the store I'm working at is in that area right there where they're heading. Everybody runs out the store, employees, customers, and we're trying to get over to the overpass where we can see the juice go by. Everybody's holding signs, we love you, blah, 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 and people saying, we love you, OJ, and everything. And so we were thinking, like, come on, the cops aren't doing their job. What the fuck? Why are they doing this to the juice? He's already upset. He's you know, blah, blah, blah. You're going to make him kill himself. I don't know where his kids ended up staying. I think with OJ's parents or something. I don't know. I don't know. The kids were pretty young back then. So OJ turns himself in, and they actually charge him with it because of all the fucking evidence that was all over him, his car, his house, everything. They even had the murder weapon. You know, what started then was the trial of the century. It was just insane, the amount of evidence and all of that shit that was happening. There was a guy named Kato Kalin. He's an actor. I never heard of him. But he was like the caretaker or something at OJ's estate. So he lived in this, mother-in-law out in the backyard. And he said to them, watch his testimony. Jesus Palomino, that guy looks like deer in headlights. He looked like he walked into a Target bathroom and saw a Pringles can in the bowl. Maybe a bit bigger. He said that he heard somebody like hop the wall or something and a couple bangs up against his wall. I don't think he ever said that he looked through the window and saw OJ. I think he said he saw a man running to the house, but he couldn't make out who it was. Or something like that. I could be way off on this. But he never said that he saw O.J. Simpson, running through the backyard to get into the house. And during the court hearing, the evidence, in the beginning you're like, no way, this is a sham. This is nuts. This is nuts. They're trying to frame him for this because they can't find the killer. Blah blah blah. And then when you start seeing some of this evidence and hearing it, and what really kind of made me go, oh whoa, was the 911 tapes from like that year or the year before or something of Nicole Brown Simpson calling 911 saying he just beat me up again, and the photographs of her with like he really blasted her bad, her eyes swollen shut, her face is purple and everything, and it's like, oh my God, how could somebody do this? How could somebody do that to somebody that you say you love, the mother of your children? How the fuck can you do that? So then I started thinking, maybe he fucking did it. Maybe he fucking did it. And so, was it? Did she get murdered out in front of Ron Goldman's place? Yeah, I think so. I think that they were separated at that time, and Ron Goldman was a waiter at this restaurant that she was at, and he was like returning her glasses or something that she left there or something like that. They were friendly with each other. Were they dating or anything? I have no idea. I don't know. But I think that OJ was after Nicole, and Ron just happened to be there. There was some stuff that wasn't admitted in court that I later found out, that everybody found out. O.J. Simpson filmed an action TV show pilot. It was called Frogman, where he was like the leader of a Navy SEAL group that was retired or something like that. And so they had like real Navy SEALs teaching them combat stuff and everything. And then O.J. Simpson's character was supposed to be an expert at knife fighting. So he had training in that. And there was a scene where he held a knife to a woman's throat. I don't think that ever was admitted in court. So, but getting back to the trial of the century, everybody was thinking at this point, towards the end of it, he did it. He absolutely did it. The thing that really fucked up the prosecution, they made him put on the bloody glove. It was the dumbest move ever. Did that glove fit his hand? Fuck yeah, it fit his hand. Did he make it look like it didn't? Yeah. Yeah, and the defense is like, if the glove does not fit, you must acquit. Those famous words. Famous words. OJ's an actor. He's playing it off. Like, I can't get this on. Fuck off. That was a big show. The prosecutors fucked up on that. So that kind of flipped the tables back, flipped it on the back to the other way there a little bit, the scales there. But still, people were pretty convinced that he did it. One person that was very outspoken during this whole thing is Howard Stern. That guy was from just after the trial started. Howard was pretty convinced that OJ did it. And then once the evidence started coming in, Howard just, that's all he talked about. OJ did it. He murdered her, blah, blah, blah. And so, the day of the verdict, the jury's out. They come back. They have reached a decision. Not guilty. Not guilty. There's a reason why he wasn't found guilty. Everybody watched that trial and everybody's like, oh fuck, he's in trouble. Oh shit, he did it. By the end of it, you're like, this fucker did it. He murdered his fucking wife and another dude. Were people saying that? Behind closed doors they were. Here's why. And here's why the jury reached that decision of not guilty. The ashes of the LA riots were still warm. People still remember that shit. Like it was fucking yesterday. That whole city burned down. When Rodney King got pulled over and beat up by a bunch of cops, it was sickening to watch. It was horrible. And people went fucking nuts. They went batshit. They were burning everything, looting, rioting. There's a truck driver that was having to go through that area in his big rig truck. He stopped because he didn't want to hurt anybody. Big mistake. His name was Reginald Denny. He got pulled out of his truck and somebody hit him and like smashed his head with a fucking brick. We watched it all live on the helicopter camera on the news. And that was a crazy freaking time. Look up Rooftop Koreans. The Korean store owners got up on top of their buildings, on their stores, with shotguns and AR-15s, and they fought off the rioters and shit, and saved their stores and their lives and shit. It was fucking crazy, dude. So, getting back to OJ, this beloved African-American man everybody loves murders a white woman. Are you going to say he's guilty? No, you're not. Why? Because you don't want another riot to happen. Everybody was holding their breath that day. Do I think that OJ did it? I think so. I think he did. Yeah. In the beginning, I didn't believe it. And halfway through it, I didn't want to believe it. And then at the end of that trial, I was convinced that he did it. And how he lived his life after being found not guilty further cemented my decision of him, like, being guilty of murder. Absolutely. So, what did Norm Macdonald, what was that joke? Norm Macdonald was on his ass every Saturday Night Live during that time. What do you say? Oh, what's a good Norm joke? Something he'd say. It's off the top of my head. O.J. Simpson can now rest easy at night knowing that the murderer is dead. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up. It really does help me out, and it doesn't cost you anything. Just a moment of your time. High fives and boners, and I hope you like this video. Sheesh. Oh.